I'm still worried about passengers sitting next to each other inside the aircraft.
I'll explain it to you, but more often than not, when I explain this, I feel, how do I want to put it now, that airliners should actually be paying some huge consultancy fees for having the flying public understand some of these technical things that the airlines should have been spending money to come to NTA to do some adverts to
I
get
feel
people
you.
to get people understand what, but they are getting it free. But this is multi-million-dollar information
Permission. Oh,
that
okay.
these airlines are getting free, and I hope that someday they will appreciate you,
Oh,
and,
amen.
and appreciate me too.
Amen.
Right, now
Okay.
let's get to that. IATA, the International Air
Petroleum
Transport Association,
yes.
made it clear that they wouldn't like to see airlines doing physical distancing. First of all, is that it will reduce the number of passengers and deny the airlines needed revenue, which is really directly proportional to safety. Because without money, those checks that will keep those airplanes airworthy will be difficult. You find airlines begin to cut corners, and then when something is due, they extend the time, and it's due again, they extend the time. As you're extending the
You're
time,
compromising.
you're getting close to the doomsday, because the doomsday will come soon as you compromise. And so they encourage that airlines should be allowed to
Carry
have their full passengers in order
passengers.
to rake in enough money to do. But then that is not even the exciting bit of it. Why passengers should be comfortable is the exciting bit of it is the air conditioning system in the airplane. It's awesome, so beautifully made and built that sitting next to me
Yeah, okay.
and sneezing, for instance, does not necessarily endanger me, even if I didn't have my mask on. But don't forget that one of the new normals, I forgot to mention that to you, is that everybody sitting in the airplane must have mask on.
I was going to go, before you go further on
Yeah,
that,
yeah,
wearing a mask
yes.
in that conditioned environment, is it safe for your lungs? And I'm thinking,
Well,
let's say you're flying 6-7 hours.
if you have the appropriate type of mask, it should be able to breathe through it. It should be able to let oxygen in without letting impurities such as those
Yes.
invisible viruses
Yeah.
passing through. It's all about having the appropriate type of mask.
So again,
which is where again I need to have Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria, do something, get the appropriate type. When people get to the airport with the inappropriate type, they ask them to put them back in their bag and purchase the appropriate one if they want to fly.
it's very important.
I've been discussing some things like this with the
important.
officials of FAAN, but I do understand their situation. At the moment, they are battling with low funding, and of course, this hit every department of the aviation sector. Has been hit very hard by the coronavirus pandemic, and so getting back to the point I was trying to make concerning the air conditioning system, you find that it's a kind of a secular thing. It's called the ACM, the air conditioning mechanism, which moves from first of all, if you know how the jet engine works, you have those ducts that produce bypassed air through hot air, and then they are sent into a compressor where this thing is really heated to almost 200 degrees Celsius, 200 degrees Celsius. With that kind of heat, no virus will survive, none. And it's just not that, it passes from then on to a filter. Yes. And it's, it's normally called a pack, the air condition, pack. It gets through the filter before it now gets up and comes through those vents that you have overhead. But then guess what happens simultaneously?
What happens?
There's also suction. That's why it's a circular thing.
Okay.
Even if you sneeze, it doesn't move. It gets up straight and is sucked away.
For real?
Yes. Yeah.
So it doesn't spread.
No, it doesn't spread.
So,
No.
I mean, that's reassuring.
Yes, that's a sanction, a part of the mechanism.
Mechanism to just suck away whatever comes out.
Yes, and so and so you find that it's just a circle, a constant circle that is going on, and then of course, apart from the engines supplying you those hot air. The APU, that is the auxiliary power unit. And I'm going to explain that to you very quickly. You notice sometimes when you're sitting on the ground and you're boarded, the engines are off, but you hear a humming sound from the rear of the aircraft.
True.
You remember?
Yeah, I remember. I know that.
You remember that?
Yes, I do.
That is the auxiliary power unit. It's the onboard one. They have other ones that are mobile. That sometimes when the engines fail to start up, you can go and use it to wind the turbine.
I want to ask you a quick question.
Yes.
Can you fly a plane?
Sorry?
Can you fly a plane?
Why do you ask that?
No, but you know so much. Why are you?
I'm a researcher. I'm not a pilot.
No, I'm thinking you can actually fly a plane.
Oh, well, I fly on my simulator, but I haven't flown inside a real plane, but I fly all kinds of planes on my simulator.
Okay, maybe.
I fly the war jets. I fly the jumbo jets. I select whatever I want to fly, and I have
fly.
And I have fun.
Okay.
But then I haven't done it in real life, so I crash and stay alive.
So maybe you can fly us to Benin right now. Let's see the level of compliance. We are flying. He's flying us to Benin.
Oh well.
Safe journey. Let's go there and see what's going on there.
We can deal.